Welcome to the Virginian-Pilot and 757 Teamz High School Football Kickoff Show. I'm Jamie Frankenberry.
And I'm Larry Obama.
We're going to take a spin around Southampton roads and get you ready for the 2016 high school football season. Larry, I have been here for almost 20 years. I know you've been here for a long time. I don't remember an off season with this much transition, this much change.
It's been crazy. I mean, it's not even football. It's been about coaching, moving here, athletes going here and there. It's not even about football, but now here we are. The season's about to begin, and now we're getting ready to get started.
Yeah, a lot of changes, especially on the sidelines. We got some transfers. I think we have to start out, though, at Bishop Sullivan Catholic in Virginia Beach. This is a team that was 5-6 last season, barely made the playoffs. They lost in the first round of the playoffs. Then all of a sudden in January, they hire Chris Scott from Ocean Lakes, and off they went. Talk about the changes at Bishop Sullivan.
Chris Scott, he leads a successful program at Ocean Lakes. Now he's at Bishop Sullivan. Not only did he lead, but he brought pretty much his whole entire coaching staff and a bunch of his players, which has really just changed a complete shift now in the Beach District. Now he's out there at Bishop Sullivan. He brought over Kalen LeBourne, probably one of the best running backs that you'll see in this area. Probably one of the top running backs we'll see in a long time. I mean, he's got a chance to really put up some great numbers. He's going to Florida State, so you have him. Then you got Taj Capehart, who signed with Virginia Tech. Another, not signed, but committed to Virginia Tech. Another great guy who not only on offense, but also on defense. Then you throw in Chris Hunt, who just committed to West Virginia, a great defensive back. Then you throw in Taraji Mitchell, probably one of the best linebackers we'll see in a long time. He's a 5-star linebacker who's got more than 40 offers. I mean, the guy is just not only good on the field, but also off the field. He's been a leader going over to Bishop Sullivan. He's an honor student. I mean, he's a kid who's going to bring a lot of leadership as well as athleticism to that team. I mean, they're going to be really good. And then you got Tavion Land, who's only a rising sophomore, and he's already committed to Virginia Tech. So they are loaded. I mean, the thing you wonder, though, they got a lot of all-stars. Can all those all-stars mesh together and form a team? That's the question I have for them.
Right, that's a big question. I mean, they have 8 Division I commitments before the season even starts. You talked about LeBourne, who was at Ocean Lakes last year. Mitchell was at Bayside. They signed an Under Armour apparel deal. They have a new scoreboard. They have new bleachers, so they're ready to go at Bishop Sullivan. They start against Liberty Christian, so it'll be interesting to see how they do. And they start out at number 1 in Southampton Roads. So let's move on. A team we often have talked about at number 1, Oscar Smith. They also have some changes. Richard Morgan has gone to Georgia to coach Marietta, and enter Bill D, a coach who has had a lot of success over on the peninsula. What do you expect out of the Tigers this season with Bill D?
They're still going to win. Bill D won state titles when he was at Phoebus. Then he left and went to the college ranks. But he's old school. I mean, he's strictly old school. I mean, hard-nosed, yelling, might be cussing. He's going to do whatever it takes to get his team. And he knows he's got a lot to prove. He's got a team now he inherits. He's probably tired of hearing about Richard Morgan. He just wants to make about Bill D. So I think he's focused on that. He wants to get it started. But the toughest thing is he's got to face DeMatha, a nationally ranked team in the beginning. We'll talk more about that later. But he's got the same athletes. I mean, they return, I believe, with 16 starters. He's got a quarterback in Sean Mitchell, who's going to have a chance to break the Virginia High School League record. And he's going to be that leader. I've already been over there several times, and Sean Mitchell's already put in place what he wants to get done. And I think Bill D's going to let him kind of run it, although Bill D won't let him run too much, but he's going to let him run that program.
Right. I mean, the Tigers have won 82 consecutive games in the Southeastern District. I think that streak will continue. They won 12 straight district titles. Indian River may have something to say about that. What do you think of the Braves this season?
I like the Braves. They lost a lot. Last year, nobody will ever forget them losing that game in the final seconds to Oscar Smith when they had him. I mean, they had him right there, and they lost that game. And I know that still burns and hurts. I mean, I felt for them. I don't even play for them. I don't even care about Indian River. But I can feel that. I can feel the pain that they have. But he has Devin Hunter coming back. Probably one of the best athletes in the country right now. He was our number 2 player for seniors coming in. He's a kid who didn't get the ball last year a lot. They had him play different positions that we questioned many times. But this is going to be the year I know that Coach Farabee's going to make sure that Devin Hunter's name is out there. He's one of the top players in the country. Hasn't committed anywhere yet. I think Devin's going to make sure, we're back here. He's got a lot of other athletes who've come in too. So it's going to be interesting to see. I think it's going to be a nice run.
Yeah, I mean, I think Western Branch and Grassfield are right there, pretty close. A couple of new coaches in the Southeastern. You got Scotty Littles, who won a state championship at Lansdowne, and Steve O'Neill, a Great Bridge alum, takes over for the Wildcats. Who else do you like in the Southeastern District?
I mean, Western Branch always has athletes.
Right.
They seem to come short every time. Every year they get close. They almost knocked off Oscar Smith last year. They had a chance to kick a field goal and they didn't. That's another question. But I think that once again they're going to have the athletes to be able to at least be in those games and maybe like last year contend and be able to knock off Oscar Smith.
Right, moving on to the Beach District, more changes in the Beach District, including one at the top for Salem. Robert Jackson was there for a long time. He bolts right before the season, and in comes Sean Wilson, who led Green Run to some really successful seasons. What do you think of the Beach District and Salem specifically?
Well, I was talking to Robert Jackson when he did step down and took the job over at Norcom as the athletic director. He says one thing about him, and a lot of coaches said as well, is he didn't put like I'm in charge, I'm the coach. He let the coaches kind of do their thing, and I think that's what's going to help. You get Sean Wilson going over there now, who's had success. He's a good team player. The athletes love him. He's got a lot of great assistants as well. So I don't, as Robert Jackson said, I don't think we're going to miss a beat. I think he's right. I think they're going to still be good. I mean, they got some good players as well as Morris Vaughn is going to just a talented linebacker who's going to do good things. And I've heard a lot about Devontae Williams, the running back. They're going to be solid again. Not a lot of players' names that we might know now, but by the end of the season, we're going to hear a lot of those guys, and I think they're going to do well.
Right. Joe Jones now at Ocean Lakes. He was at Kings Fork, led Kings Fork to 4 consecutive playoff appearances. Now he has replaced Chris Scott. What do you know about the Ocean Lakes Dolphins?
Well, they lost a lot. A lot of those players now at Bishop Sullivan, but I think they're going to be good still. I mean, he's got to replace the quarterback. He's got to replace a running back. He's got to replace wide receivers who have all left, but he's got Eric Crosby there still, a guy who committed to Tennessee, a guy who's a leader who's going to be able to lead the team. I think they're going to do well. I think they're going to surprise some people. Maybe not at the top, but I think they're going to do well. Only thing I don't know about is they got that winning streak in the Beach District. I think that might come to an end.
Right, that's going to be tough. You got Cox and Bayside, who also look pretty good. We have a new coach at Green Run. That's Justin Conyers. I mean, what do you think about the rest of the Beach District?
Justin kind of exciting. He first year coach. He says, "No, this guy's good. We're gonna contend for district title, state titles." He's excited. I love that. The enthusiasm he has. Don't think that's gonna happen, but I think that they're gonna do all right. I think they'll have him in contenders. He's got a lot of athletes over there. I think they do well. Bayside is another school who I think is really good. They lost a lot of players as well. Some to Bishop Sullivan, some to other places. But John White has that every year. He's got them competitive because of the athletes, and you can never cut out Cox. Coach Stack is back. Bill Stakowski has a good team. He lost his main quarterback to James Madison, he's playing over there now, but he's got some talent there. I think they're going to do well this year. I think they do well.
Right, now we move on to the Eastern District. The Eastern District is the only district that doesn't have any coaching changes, and I don't think you'll see much change atop the Eastern District. Lake Taylor's appeared in 3 state championship games in 4 seasons. Hank Sawyer has another really good team. What do you think of about the Titans in 4A this season?
They look really good. I really like their line. I mean, they got some key players in the line. I think they're gonna be dangerous again. They're gonna still be good. He's got the skilled players once again, but their defense is gonna win games for them. And they also have a kicker, which is a good thing. Last year they didn't have a kicker, and he ended up missing that field goal in overtime. But I think Hank is gonna have them back up there again.
Right. Tariq Huey returns a quarterback. They've got a lot of pieces. They did lose Wayne Davis, who a defensive back who went on to Ohio State, but like you said, their defense has a lot of good pieces. Norview, they should be a contender. They're not in 4A, they're in 5A, but I think Norview with Dariel Mack back at quarterback, they're going to have another good season. What do you think about the Pilots?
I really like the Pilots again. I think if anybody's going to be able to contend with the Titans this year, it's going to be Norview. I really like them. The one key that they're going to miss is Devin Watford. He was a key guy who they can go to in go-to situations on 3rd down and short. He was the man that was going to catch the ball. He's going to run the ball, do what they need to do. But he has some great talent now. And Kevin Marks, a really good running back who committed to Buffalo. They also have Anton Ashby, who talks a lot of smack, but he backs it up. He hasn't committed yet, but he's good. I really like him. And then they also got Isaiah King, speed guy, who can catch the ball, spread the field. He's also going to Buffalo. I like Norview's chances. Right
now, last year in the preseason, we talked about Norcom losing 26 players at graduation. I can't imagine that Larry Archie will have another 1-9 season. What do you think about the Greyhounds?
Archie's going to have him back. We read some things already. A lot of pressure from the Norcom alumni. We don't want no more losing seasons. They won't have one. They're going to have a good team this year. A lot of those younger guys now have experience. They're going to be well this year. They're going to do well this year.
Right now, we talked about the big move in private schools was Bishop Sullivan trying to elevate its program. But we have a couple new changes. Nansemond Suffolk has a new coach in Mike Beal. That's a familiar name to a lot of people who remember his days as a star quarterback, Larry. What do you know about Mike Beal and the kind of offense he's going to have?
He's been waiting a long time for this. He's applied for different positions that didn't come his way this time. This one came. He's got a chance to go in there and do something. They lost a lot, but he also has some pretty good players. Keyshawn Moore, who's already committed to James Madison University. He's going to be one of the main players. One thing Mike said we're going to do, we're going to line up with a wide receiver, running back, wherever. They're going to try to make sure that he gets the ball a lot. And then he's also a force on defense. So I think they're going to be all right.
Right. Tommy Austin takes over at Greenbrier Christian. The TCIS could be wide open now that Bishop Sullivan's gone. But let's talk about this Friday's games. We have a big game, couple big games. First of all, DeMatha Catholic coming in against Oscar Smith. DeMatha is ranked 19th in the country, so it's a big test right off the bat for the Tigers. What do you think about that game, Larry?
It's a big test. That's what it's going to be. I mean, you hate to have your first game as the coach and you're facing DeMatha for Coach D, but I think he lives for that moment as well. I think they're going to do well. One thing we did find out is Anthony McFarland, one of the star running backs for DeMatha, broke his leg. He's done for the season, but as Coach D told me, they got a lot more people. I mean, they got at least 5 or 6 guys who are 4-star athletes. It's going to be a big test for Oscar Smith, but I think once they get past that game, then everything else will be smooth sailing for them.
Yeah, and also another big game, Ocean Lakes against Salem. I mean, right off the bat in the Beach District, that could make or break one of those teams. What do you think about that matchup?
2 new coaches going at it. We'll
Right.
see what happens. The winning streak is on the line. It's going to be a good one.
So join us Friday. We'll be on 757teams.com where you can find highlights and updates of all the games. Of course, follow us on Twitter at 757teams, and we'll see you at the games on Friday night. Thanks for joining us.
Thank you.